My beloved child, I know how many times you have apologized for simply being who you are. I have seen the hesitation before you speak. I have watched you rewrite messages, soften your opinions, hide your excitement, lower your expectations, and dim your light because you were afraid of taking up too much space. You have learned to shrink yourself in rooms where I never asked you to become smaller. You have carried a quiet belief that if you could just become less noticeable, less intense, less passionate, less emotional, then perhaps you would finally be accepted. But, my child, I never asked you to disappear. I know the exhaustion that comes from constantly editing yourself. I know the weariness of feeling too much for some people and not enough for others. I know the ache of wondering why your heart seems deeper, why your dreams seem bigger, why your spirit feels different from those around you. I know because I was there when I formed you, before anyone labeled you, misunderstood you, rejected you, or tried to place you into a box too small for your calling. I knew you completely. I knew every gift. I knew every strength. I knew every sensitivity. I knew every detail, and I did not make a mistake. My child, there are wounds you carry that few people can see. Some were created by criticism. Some were created by comparison. Some were created when people made you feel like your personality was a problem that needed to be fixed. Perhaps you were told you were too loud, too quiet, too emotional, too ambitious, too intense, too different. The voices changed, but the message remained the same. Become less, so you learned to apologize. You apologized for your ideas. You apologized for your dreams. You apologized for your gifts. You apologized for your needs. You apologized for your presence. Even now, some of those habits remain hidden inside your conversations. You say sorry when you have done nothing wrong. You hesitate before expressing your thoughts. You carry guilt for simply existing as the person I created. But beloved, I want you to hear me clearly today. The burden you are carrying was never placed upon you by me. The world taught you to shrink. I created you to grow. The world taught you to blend in. I created you to stand out. The world taught you to become smaller. I created you to become fully alive. You have mistaken rejection for instruction. You assumed that because someone could not understand your design, there must be something wrong with the design itself. But misunderstanding does not mean malfunction. Rejection does not mean defect. Criticism does not mean you were created incorrectly. My child, when an eagle is surrounded by creatures who cannot fly, its wings may seem strange. Yet the problem is not the wings. The wings were created for a different altitude. In the same way, some of the very things you have been apologizing for are the very things I intend to use. That depth you carry, that compassion, that creativity, that intensity, that hunger for more. Those are not accidents. They are fingerprints of my craftsmanship. You have spent years asking, why am I like this? And I have been waiting to tell you, because I made you this way. You are fearfully and wonderfully made, as it is written in Psalm 139:14. Those words are not poetry alone. They are truth. They are my declaration over your life. When I formed you, I did not work carelessly. I did not randomly assign your qualities. I designed you with intention. Every thread, every layer, every gift, every capacity, every unique expression of your personality. I saw it all before you took your first breath. Long before the opinions of others reached your ears, I had already spoken purpose over your existence. Before your family knew your name, before your teachers evaluated you, before your peers compared you, before anyone formed expectations of who you should become, I knew you. As it is written in Jeremiah 1:5, before I formed you in the womb, I knew you. Think about that, dear one. I knew you before the world did. And my opinion of you carries greater authority than every other voice combined. Yet the enemy has worked tirelessly to convince you otherwise. He understands something that you have forgotten. He knows that a person who embraces their God-given identity becomes difficult to stop. He knows that when my children stop apologizing for their calling, they begin walking in authority. He knows that when my children stop shrinking, they start impacting lives. He knows that confidence rooted in me becomes a powerful force for good. So he whispers lies. He tells you that confidence is arrogance. He tells you that visibility is pride. He tells you that using your gifts is selfish. He tells you that your uniqueness is a flaw. But those whispers are not my voice. My voice does not shame. My voice does not belittle. My voice does not demand that you erase yourself. I call you forward. I call you higher. I call you into the fullness of who I created you to be. My child, there is a difference between humility and hiding. True humility is knowing that every gift comes from me. Hiding is pretending those gifts do not exist. Humility says, God gave me this, and I will use it for His glory. Hiding says, God gave me this, but I am too afraid to let it be seen. And many of my children have confused the two. You have been standing in shadows, calling it humility, when in reality it was fear. But fear is not your master. I am. The time has come to release the false responsibility of making everyone comfortable with who I made you to be. Not everyone will understand your journey. Not everyone will understand your calling. Not everyone will understand your depth. And that is okay. Their understanding is not required for my purpose to unfold in your life. You are my workmanship, created for good works, as it is written in Ephesians 2:10. You were not assembled by accident. You were crafted, formed, designed, prepared. You were not made to fit. You were made to fill. You were made to fill spaces with compassion. You were made to fill darkness with light. You were made to fill broken places with hope. You were made to fill empty hearts with encouragement. You were made to fill this generation with the unique expression of my glory that I placed inside you. And that is why you cannot keep shrinking. Because every time you diminish what I placed within you, the world receives less of what I intended to give through you. My beloved child, listen carefully. The answer was never becoming less. The answer is becoming fully who I created you to be. My beloved child, there is something deeper I need you to understand. The struggle you have faced is not merely about confidence. It is not simply about self-esteem. Beneath the surface, there is a wound that has quietly shaped the way you see yourself. There were moments when acceptance felt conditional, moments when love seemed tied to performance, moments when you learned that being fully yourself could lead to criticism, rejection, or disappointment. So you adapted. You became smaller in order to feel safer. You learned how to read the room before speaking. You learned how to carry everyone's comfort while neglecting your own soul. You learned how to become who others expected rather than who I created. And over time, you forgot where the mask ended and where your true identity began. But I never forgot, not for a single moment. Even when you questioned yourself, I knew you. Even when you doubted your worth, I knew you. Even when you tried to hide parts of yourself, I still saw the whole picture. The enemy has spent years convincing you that your value depends on other people's approval. He has trained your heart to look outward for validation rather than upward for truth. Every compliment became a source of security. Every criticism became a source of devastation. Every rejection felt like evidence that something was wrong with you. But beloved, your identity was never supposed to rest in human hands. Human opinions change like shifting winds. My truth remains forever. The enemy knows that if he can keep you dependent upon approval, he can keep you imprisoned by fear. You will never speak boldly if you are addicted to acceptance. You will never walk freely if you are constantly measuring your worth against the reactions of others. That is why I am calling you out of that prison today. You do not belong there. You were not created to live as a prisoner of people's expectations. You were created to live as my child. Remember what I declared in Isaiah 43 verse 1. Fear not, for I have redeemed you. I have called you by name. You are mine. You are mine. Not theirs. Not the critics. Not the doubters. Not the voices from your past. Not the people who only loved the version of you that stayed small. You belong to me, and because you belong to me, your identity cannot be determined by temporary opinions. My child, some of the very qualities you have been trying to suppress are connected to your assignment. The depth of your emotions allows you to care deeply for others. The intensity of your passion allows you to pursue purpose with perseverance. The sensitivity of your heart allows you to recognize what others overlook. The uniqueness of your perspective allows you to see possibilities where others see limitations. What if the very thing you call a weakness is actually a gift that has not yet been fully understood? What if the trait you have spent years apologizing for is part of the way I intended to impact the world through you? You have been asking me to remove things that I carefully placed within you. You have prayed, Lord, make me different. And sometimes I lovingly answer, no, my child. I want you to become more fully yourself. Not the version shaped by fear. Not the version shaped by rejection. Not the version shaped by insecurity. The version shaped by my hands. Because when I created you, I was not trying to make a copy of someone else. I already created them. I was creating you. There is a tendency within the human heart to compare. You look at others and wonder why you are not more like them. You admire their strengths and overlook your own. You celebrate their gifts while questioning your value. But comparison is a thief. It steals joy. It steals purpose. When you compare your journey to another person's journey, you begin measuring your calling with the wrong ruler. A rose was never meant to become an oak tree. A river was never meant to become a mountain. A star was never meant to become the moon. Each fulfills its purpose by being exactly what it was created to be. And so do you, my beloved. There are rooms you have not entered because fear told you that you were unqualified. There are opportunities you have not embraced because insecurity convinced you that someone else would do it better. There are dreams you have delayed because you were waiting to become a different person before stepping forward. But I am asking you something today. What if the person you have been waiting to become is actually the person you already are in me? What if the confidence you seek is not found by changing your identity, but by embracing it? What if the breakthrough begins when you stop fighting your design? My child, the enemy wants you trapped in endless self-correction. Always adjusting, always apologizing, always questioning, always second-guessing. Because a distracted believer is an ineffective believer. If he can keep your eyes fixed on your perceived flaws, you will never recognize the power of my presence working through your life. Yet I have not called you to spend your life analyzing yourself. I have called you to trust me. Trust that I knew what I was doing when I created you. Trust that your gifts have purpose. Trust that your voice matters. Trust that your presence carries value. Trust that your life is not an accident. As it is written in Proverbs 3:5-6, trust in the Lord with all your heart, and lean not on your own understanding. There are things about yourself that you may not fully understand yet, but I understand. There are reasons behind your design that you cannot yet see, but I can see them. There are connections, opportunities, relationships, and assignments ahead that will reveal why I created you the way I did. One day, many of the things that confuse you now will make sense. One day, what feels awkward will become useful. One day, what feels excessive will become necessary. One day, what feels different will become the very reason someone else's life is changed. That is why I need you to stop making agreements with lies. Stop agreeing with the voices that say you are too much. Stop agreeing with the voices that say you are not enough. Stop agreeing with the voices that say you should become smaller. Those voices did not create you. I did. And my voice carries the final authority. You are not too much. You are not enough. You are not a mistake. You are not a burden. You are not an inconvenience. You are my beloved child. And everything I create has purpose. The turning point begins here, not when circumstances change, not when everyone finally understands you, not when every insecurity disappears. The turning point begins when you decide to believe what I say about you more than what fear says about you. Because the moment you do that, chains begin to break. The moment you do that, confidence begins to grow. The moment you do that, freedom begins to rise within your spirit. And my child, freedom looks beautiful on you, my beloved child. This is the moment I have been leading you toward. Not a moment of striving, not a moment of proving, not a moment of becoming someone else. A moment of surrender, because the greatest freedom you will ever experience is not found in changing who I made you to be. It is found in finally accepting who I made you to be. For too long, you have stood before mirrors created by other people's opinions. You have examined yourself through the lens of criticism, comparison, rejection, and fear. You have measured your worth by responses, reactions, and approval. But today I am inviting you to step away from those distorted reflections and stand before my truth. Look at yourself through my eyes. See what I see. I do not see a person who is too much. I see a heart capable of carrying great compassion. I do not see a person who is not enough. I see someone filled with gifts that have not yet fully blossomed. I do not see a mistake. I see intentional design. I see purpose. I see beauty. I see potential. I see my beloved child. And what I see is good. The enemy has worked hard to convince you that your uniqueness is your problem. Yet the very thing he attacks most fiercely is often the thing I intend to use most powerfully. Consider this carefully. Why has the battle been so intense around your identity? Why has fear worked so hard to silence your voice? Why has insecurity fought so fiercely against your confidence? Because there is something valuable on the other side of your freedom. The enemy does not waste energy attacking what has no purpose. He attacks what carries potential. He attacks what carries influence. He attacks what carries destiny. And you, my child, carry all three. You have been asking me to make you fit into places where I never intended you to belong. Yet I did not create you merely to fit into existing spaces. I created you to bring my presence into them. I created you to carry light into darkness. I created you to bring healing where there is pain. I created you to reveal my love in ways that only you can. You were not made to fit. You were made to fill. Fill the room with kindness. Fill conversations with wisdom. Fill broken places with hope. Fill weary hearts with encouragement. Fill your generation with the unique reflection of my glory that I placed inside you. The world does not need another copy of someone else. The world needs the person I created you to be. And that person is enough, right now, not someday, not after more achievement, not after more approval, not after becoming more like someone else, right now, as you are, my beloved. There is a practical step I am asking you to take. When fear tells you to apologize for your presence, pause and remember whose presence you carry. When insecurity tells you to shrink, remember that I did not place my spirit within you so you could hide. As it is written, God has not given us a spirit of fear, but of power and of love and of a sound mind. 2 Timothy 1:7. When comparison begins whispering its familiar lies, bring your attention back to me. Thank me for how I created others, but do not use their design as a weapon against your own. Learn to notice the moments when you instinctively make yourself smaller. Notice them without condemnation. Notice them with awareness, and then choose differently. Speak when I tell you to speak. Rest when I tell you to rest. Create what I placed inside you to create. Share what I placed inside you to share. Trust what I placed inside you to trust. You do not need permission from the world to become who I already declared you are. Spend time with me, beloved, not because I need your performance, but because you need my perspective. The closer you draw to me, the harder it becomes to believe the lies that once controlled you. When you sit with me, I remind you who you are. When you open my word, I remind you who you are. When you pray, I remind you who you are. Again and again and again, I remind you who you are. Because identity is strengthened through relationship. As it is written in John 15:5, I am the vine, you are the branches. A branch does not struggle to produce fruit by pretending to be something else. It simply remains connected to the vine. Remain connected to me. That is where confidence grows. That is where healing deepens. That is where freedom flourishes. And when old voices return, and sometimes they will, do not be surprised. The lies may knock on the door, but you do not have to invite them inside. When they say, you are too much, answer with truth. My God created me with purpose. When they say, you are not enough, answer with truth. My identity is secure in Christ. When they say, you should hide, answer with truth. I was created to shine. As it is written in Matthew 5:16, let your light shine before others. Notice that I did not tell the light to apologize for shining. I told it to shine. And that includes you, my beloved child. I am not asking you to become arrogant. I am asking you to become secure. There is a difference. Arrogance says, look how great I am. Security says, look how great God is. Arrogance draws attention to self. Security reflects glory back to me. And when you finally embrace who I created you to be, people will not simply see you more clearly. They will see me more clearly through you. That is the beauty of walking in your true identity. The freedom you are seeking is not found in becoming less. It is found in becoming whole. The peace you are seeking is not found in hiding. It is found in acceptance. The confidence you are seeking is not found in perfection. It is found in trust. Trusting that the one who created you knew exactly what he was doing. My child, hear my declaration over your life. You are fearfully and wonderfully made, as written in Psalm 139 verse 14. You are known, as written in Jeremiah 1 verse 5. You are chosen, as written in John 15:16. You are my workmanship, as written in Ephesians 2:10. You are redeemed and called by name, as written in Isaiah 43 verse 1. You are deeply loved. You are intentionally formed. You are uniquely equipped. You are divinely called. You are not too much. You are not enough. You are mine. So stop apologizing for the gifts I gave you. Stop apologizing for the voice I gave you. Stop apologizing for the heart I gave you. Stop apologizing for the purpose I placed within you. Walk boldly, walk humbly, walk freely, walk with me. And as you do, you will discover what I have known about you all along. You were never created to shrink. You were created to shine. You were never created merely to fit. You were created to fill. And nothing about the way I made you was a mistake. Not one thing. I love you, my child. I always have. I always will. And it is time for you to see yourself the way I see you.